sunset reflected in her icy gaze. Chapter 0. In total darkness, a tongue of flame flared up. The solar god Korea. Although, you probably already have an idea about the name of their great mythological gods, now I will immerse you in this story. In the mountains, where there was only water and earth, a sunbeam flashed. Descending from heaven in flames, gliding along the sunbeam, God, with the help of iron, endowed people with life, and led them into civilization. After Korea descended, people were so overcome with delight that they called him the sun god. After he became an invincible warrior, each of the matchmakers was victorious, with minimal losses of soldiers, and because of these qualities, people called him differently God of Victory, War. As a sign of respect, and as a talisman, each of the soldiers shouted under the protection of the God of Victory, "We will kill everyone who climbs. We will forgive our lands and our people." But, unfortunately, in all the stories, you can look at the situation from the other side. Is it true that God was constantly winning? Is there a lie in this? Nothing is being hidden from us? Well, still, no matter how many doubts there are, who cares who needs to risk their lives for the sake of finding the truth? Although, can we still end the lies and secrets that have been hidden from us for a long time? Preface to Chapter 1. Darkness enveloped the forest, laughter and loud footsteps were heard, someone's eyes stared ominously into the distance. There was a scream in the bedroom. "Miss Hilda, wake up, wake up, what's wrong with you? I think I saw someone, I was scared, I think there's some kind of trouble." The girl turned her head, and in the window she saw a bright, scarlet sun, like a ripe orange. It was beautiful, and it was reflected in Hilda's eyes. Chapter 1. A Precur Urko. On the heat street, in a beautiful house, on a provincial street, there was a hum. In other words, I do not know how to help you, I am powerless here. It's expired here, you stored them in an inappropriate way. Listen to you, pharmacist, I'm sure that from the very beginning you gave me a defective product. No, I'm sorry, but I would never do that. I brought these herbs from the very north. It's obvious that they will spoil in this heat. But they say the truth, idiots from the northern part cannot be trusted. A young girl burst into the room, with an aggressive attitude. "Uncle, why are you so rude to him? What did you say to him?" "Oh, honey, you misunderstood. When you took the herbs, Urko explained everything clearly to you, and it's your problem that you didn't listen carefully. Stop distracting us from work, and leave as soon as possible. There's nothing to shout about because of your own stupidity." "Sorry, mister, I can recommend you to cut off everything that is rotten, and you can use herbs. You know, dear Urko, your trouble is your kindness, you are being used." "Thank you for the advice, but you know, if I can't serve clients professionally, it seems to me that I was guilty before the boss. When it was hard and bad for me, he allowed me, a guy from the north, to stay, took me to work. And I think everyone should thank you for working here, because I've never met a better professional than you. Why do you think people from the north are still treated like animals?" The buyer's sarcastic words flashed through his head. They speak the truth, idiots from the northern part cannot be trusted. Urko succumbed to memories. Part of the north and the southern kingdom of Marmarat. How long ago was this story? Initially, I grew up in the northern part, where there were high mountains, and tiny villages on them. They had a kind of symbiosis between them. After that, there was a cruel and long war, because of which my region was subject to the southern kingdom. After the conquest of the north, the beloved king of the south was recognized as the conqueror. But as far as I remember, all this became a reality only thanks to the man who was always next to the king. Hilda is the goddess of the sun, all the charms of the sun and light are concentrated in her. The god Korea gave her his power, she was given the name of the winner of the north. Through many victories and bloodshed, she was recognized not only for her strength, she gained her fame on behalf of the goddess of the sun. To be honest, she could get the title of knight, the way she conjured, her magic, the people were sure she was immortal and invulnerable. She is the power. Because of these people who admired her endless strength, but were afraid behind her back, she decided to hide her face, showing it only to her loved ones. Someone says that she is a terrible, dimensional grandmother, an old woman of about 70. And someone said that this was a beautiful young lady who could bewitch everything with her beauty. But there is one thing, but it is clear to everyone that she appeared on the battlefield when she was a child. Now, after the war, she has received a prestigious title, and the palace where she lives to this day is completely alone. And so, what difference does it make at all? because she is the goddess of the sun. His thoughts returned to reality, and he heard the same voice. Urko, have you been listening to me at all? Oh, yes, I'm listening. At the moment, apothecaries, doctors and pharmacists serve at the palace, but if you look at reality, there are only crooks and a kind of sorcerer in all the district. By the way, do I have seats? And she also serves the nobility, there she learns martial arts, and when she needed the most professional pharmacist, I called your name without a single drop of doubt. I have no idea who the soldiers are looking for, but it's such a flattery and honor for me that you think I'm the best in my business. Your opinion is important to me. Breaking through the dialogue, two silhouettes in cloaks entered the door, from under which neither face nor body could be seen. Hello, come in. Good afternoon, is this the Lindema family shop? Yes, that's right, it's her, but, unfortunately, they are not in place right now. Rumor has it that you are great at medicines. Do you work alone? Yes, I don't want to upset you, but at the moment there is not much assortment, only those herbs and medicines that are purchased more often than others that you need. Maybe we have it in stock. Sir, you were born in the north, weren't you? They stared at each other intently. Urko began to get nervous. Excuse me, gentlemen, do you want to discuss something with me? Yes, we need your help. The silhouette pulled the note into Urko's hands. If you are interested in our request, come to the address in the note. I assure you, you will not make a mistake if you agree. We have a generous reward. They left, and Urko and the girl stood in disbelief. I do not understand what is happening today. My head is spinning. Why everyone who enters here cannot refrain from mentioning your homeland, and in general, why do they come here if they did not even warn? It looks like they were warriors, I felt it, even though they were very diligently hiding their guises. Stop, Imro warriors. This is also the most promising and elite noble army in the capital. Why then were they sent for me? Did something terrible happen in the Tsar's family or? The guy dived into memories again. Urko, boy, listen to your parents, your parents, the solar goddess. Concentrating on the note interrupted the memories. Maybe, he thought, perhaps this is a great prospect. Dark, deep night, Urko goes through the forest in search of those people. It's empty, there's no one here. Maybe I got the wrong address and mixed up. A secret voice obeyed from behind the bushes. No, that's right, stay out of place. Thank you for coming in. My name is Grisetta. We really need your help as a doctor. Chapter 2. Urko stood in front of this lady in a complete daze. Griselda, my partner's sister. My partner's words were spinning in my head, and when she needed the most professional pharmacist, I called your name without a single drop of doubt. My thoughts turned out to be true. My competitor is the commander-in-chief of the soldiers. So, how can I help? Well, nothing complicated for a specialist. I'll tell you about the symptoms, and you, in turn, about the treatment method. Symptoms? You do understand that I need to examine the patient for operational assistance. Yes, I understand, but this is excluded, and so, listen, at sunrise, a person feels good, in perfect order, but at sunset, a person is enveloped in heat, he seems to split and melt. He seems to be locked in a boiling volcano, he is on fire. And as soon as night comes, the body cools down. So, do you know about the disease in which you sparkle like a flame, and then cool down, and become stale as a stone? What? What kind of delusional symptoms? I'm sorry, it's a rebus, I need to guess. Listen, I'm not one of those who will be crucified because of stupidity. I'm not joking, a boy from the north. Well, if that's the case, then I know about diseases that completely cover the whole body with an attack, but so that pain engulfs at sunset, and calming abruptly passes at night. For the first time, to be honest, it looks more like some kind of enchantment than a disease. I didn't ask for your opinion on this, I asked you about the method of treatment. Okay, if I don't know the disease, then I can't call the treatment, but I can offer you preventive treatment. He opened his case of herbs and began to whisper something to himself. So, dried root, leaves, bark of a tree. Listen, you're young, why do you know so much about pharmaceuticals? My family, they were doctors, a lot of their knowledge was passed on to me. There are enough herbs and their uses in my arsenal. Do you think they understand better than you? Yes, I'm sure of it, but it doesn't matter anymore. They died in the north, during the war many years ago. I'm done, take your dried herbs, I hope it will help, and most importantly, you need to cook them for 7 hours. then give the resulting drink to the patient. If there is a critical case, give him fox herbs directly into his mouth, let him keep them there. I've never seen this kind of plant before. Yes, because there is none in the south, these are only northern herbs. I hope I helped you, and the patient will feel better. But you can act on your own if you doubt my knowledge and my medicines. I'm done and I won't wash you off. Urko left, and the girl remembered that the sunrise had come. Hearing footsteps, she immediately realized who was behind. You shouldn't have come here, I handled it myself. How do you feel? I hope this helps me. Miss Hilda, please be vigilant. If suddenly he sees your face, he will immediately understand who you are and refuse help. They are looking for you everywhere, both here and in the kingdom. They should never know about you and your illness, especially to people from the north. Griselda, did you see his eyes, the look? Look, do you know him from where? No, I don't know, I was just wondering. Urko is unloading a cart with boxes, simultaneously thinking about something important. HUI, mister, you got something mixed up. Can you put the box where you took it? Sorry, I was inattentive. You have been immersed in your thoughts for more than one day. Something is bothering you. Can you tell me? Maybe this temperamental madam makes him distracted from work. Have you fallen in love? Are you? No, by no means. He thought again. A week has passed since our meeting. Why hasn't she told me anything yet? I suppose they should have run out of herbs by now. Why doesn't she come? I don't know where she is. How can I take the initiative? I want to ask if I helped the patient. The idea of getting one step closer to the kingdom flashed through my head. But apparently, these are all delusional ideas. At breakneck speed, the candlestick crashed on the floor. Griselda ran to Hilda in the hope of having time to help. Miss, what's the matter with you? What happened? Everything got better. Why did it happen again? I thought we were close to recovery. Through the door, the assistant explained the situation. Yesterday, Miss did not take herbs. She, like you, thought she was already healthy. Is there something wrong with herbs? Why didn't you give them to her? Everything ended yesterday, only the decoctions of noble sorcerers remained. So bring it out soon. What are you waiting for? Exhausted, Hilda shouted. It's not that, it's useless. Miss, how can I help you? That guy is a pharmacist from the north. Find him, and let him be here. Complete darkness, a solid forest and a lonely palace, coping behind the branches, high ceilings, and a nervous Urko sitting on a chair in this palace. I really assumed that I would become one step closer to the royal family, but so much, sitting on this chair right in the castle. But, frankly, it looks more like an abandoned manor house than the castle of the royal family. I don't understand where I am. Apparently the patient of the noble family has become worse, since I was brought here in such a hurry. Griselda opened the creaking door and said, "Follow me." Chapter 3. Urko obediently followed the fighting lady through the gloomy dark corridors, when suddenly they stopped at the door. Earlier I warned you about the confidentiality of her identity, so be kind, help, and equip her as a patient who wants to recover. They entered the room. She got sick a couple of months ago. Every night is like torture to her. I see how hard and painful it is for her, but what is happening now is a nightmare. She is in such a state every night. She does not complain about her health all day. She says everything is fine, but she does not sleep. Terrible pains overcome her. But then, your herbs helped us. I want to thank you for that. She got much better. I even thought she was healthy, but she ran out, and we realized that we need to find out the reason. Otherwise it will get much worse. I can't be sure if it's witchcraft or just a disease, but she assures me. What is witchcraft? But your medications helped, didn't they? So that's the thing. Wait, I want to ask you about a favor. We were transported into Hilda's memories, into a bloody battle with cries of "Here he is, a monster." A lot of fire and blood, but all these soaps disappeared when she was called. Miss, come on, the Tsar is already waiting for us. Yeah, could you tell her I'll be by soon? She was interrupted by a sharp pain in her chest, which caused her to crouch and fall to the floor. Hilda. She woke up already in her palace, on her bed. She felt very good. Through the joy that it was easier for her, a thought slipped through. So many people from the north have died because of me, and now one of them is saving me. She was worried, but reassured herself that everyone saw her only in a mask, and that if necessary, she would get rid of the northerners as from those days. Oh, it's been so long since I could just walk at night, how wonderful. In the silence of the corridor, a sound was heard. There shouldn't be anyone on this floor. Who goes there? Griselda, is that you there? Opening the door, Urko fell out on her. A whole bunch of thoughts flashed through her head. She was scared. No one should know about you, especially the people from the north. Chapter 4. They looked at each other in silence for a long time. Miss, I'm sorry, I didn't know there was someone here. I hope you're not hurt or injured. Is everything okay? Urko looked at her, thinking about how beautiful she looks, and for some reason was silent. Maybe she has a concussion. Should I kill him? But then who will cure me? Maybe I will die right after him, and if I ask for a prescription and give it to noble doctors, but they are so useless. I don't think they have these herbs. What should I do? Unpleasant memories of screams ran like goosebumps over her skin. Die sorceress, terrible monster. I decided I had to get rid of him, now. Urko interrupted her internal dialogue. He saw a scratch on her arm. Miss, on your arm, you are injured. I need to help you. You were caught on a knife. I want to apologize to you again. I am sometimes inattentive. I will do it. And only after that I begin to analyze, and also, how to address you. The goddess of the sun Korea. Ka-R. My name is Carrie. Carrie, nice to meet you. My name is Urko. If you're conscious and you haven't hurt your head, let me examine your cut. The cut won't bring you much discomfort. You don't need to sew it up. It's not deep, but just in case I put a bandage with ointment on top of the wound. What are you doing here? Oh, and what? Griselda didn't inform you. I'm your doctor. She asked me to stay the night. Everything is clear. Well, since she asked, then I won't argue. Griselda told me that the hostess was very ill. At the moment I am not allowed to see her to treat her directly, but I am diligently investigating the symptoms. I want to figure it out, because this is the first time I have encountered this. Carrie, why are you here? He doesn't recognize me, thought I was a servant. I have only recently been here. I still have a bad orientation, so I just got lost. Initially I wanted to go to another place. There are so many corridors. Hilda pushed him away. That's it. Thanks for the help. I have to go, because I haven't completely bandaged your hand yet. She left the castle and ran out onto the terrace. This wound is so tiny that I would have healed it in 1 second if I still had my strength. Urko's look flashed in her memory. She was convinced that she had already seen them, because she had looked at this look so long and carefully. Miss Hilda, why did you leave the castle? It's still night, and especially with an open face, you will be seen. Hilda noticed the maid's clothes. The morning came, the sky was clear, the singing of birds carried pleasant notes to the castle. Miss Griselda, good morning. Is there something wrong with the bed? You look tired. Are you sure? The bed is very comfortable, just great. I was just so nervous that I started unpacking things, and finished just now. Of course, I will not take this into account. Please follow me. Now I will show you the territory, and you definitely need to tell the servants and maids about you. Oh. Look, I know her, it's Carrie. Chapter 5. Hello, Carrie, I'm ashamed of what happened yesterday. I hope you've forgiven me. How is your cut? Griselda intervened in the dialogue, bumping into Hilda. Urko, would you be kind enough to explore the neighborhood without me? Naturally, as you say. Hilda, explain what's going on here. What kind of Carrie is he talking about? What's wrong with your hand and why are you in maid's clothes? What kind of circus is this? I just put this outfit away from our assistant. I look ridiculous in it. No, you look fine, but that's not why I called you. What's all this about? You have so many questions. Everything is much simpler. Yesterday I went out to walk around the castle, and accidentally met him, wanted to kill him, but he didn't recognize me, decided it wasn't worth it, and came up with a fairy tale that I was a maid and got lost in the corridor. But isn't it your fault that you left a stranger from the north on my floor without even warning me? Nonsense. I would definitely inform you as soon as you came to your senses and it became easier for you. It is important to me that you are healthy, so I left it here. Don't make excuses. I had the same thoughts as you, but I can't get the thoughts of his look out of my head. I've already seen those eyes somewhere. I remember it very well. I urgently need to understand how I know him. Don't you think that you just confused him with someone? You've met so many people from the north. Maybe you're right. I think even if you saw him, it's too dangerous to dig into it. Even if not everyone in the castle saw your face, you need to take care of yourself. It's irresponsible. Just take and walk around the castle like this, because of this guy. Just think what will happen if the king finds out. I don't care what happens if this grandfather finds out, it's much more important for me that I feel healthy, my legs want to jump and run, I'll just die of boredom if I stay here, in four walls. Hilda, if you make a mistake, it will be very difficult and dangerous to kill him. Griselda, don't be a bore. All the servants gathered on the terrace near the castle, Griselda loudly announced. I gathered you here for a reason, I want to introduce you to the new employees of our castle. Here, this is our new cook, and here is a new maid Carrie, and the most important and useful thing, here, this young man Urko, he will provide us with great help. He is an excellent pharmacist and doctor, will live here. There was a rumble from the crowd. This young doctor from the north? Hey, if you're a doctor, it turns out you can help me with my ailment, I have a bad knee. Wait, he's from the north. And what does it matter where he comes from? We were told Urko is an excellent doctor, which means that he is very useful. Listen, Urko, my knee is pulling so hard that I haven't been able to sleep for 2 weeks. And here is my child, he is already 6 years old, but I think he is low for his age, can you help with this? The cook turned to Hilda. So, I understood everything correctly, you are Carrie, the new maid, rather follow me to the dining room. Because of this meeting we are delaying breakfast. Urko rushed to help. I'm sorry, I can come with you, and I will do a useful thing, and I will be more attentive to the territory. Griselda remained in her thoughts. Will Hilda be alright if she walks around the castle so boldly? They found themselves in the kitchen, it smelled of fresh spices and spices. Let's start, young lady, here, special clothes for the hostess, and food, take it to her bed. It's a pity that she can't even come down to have breakfast with us, that's the salvation that we have a doctor, and now she will feel much better. Urko couldn't contain his curiosity. Excuse me, but who is the mistress of the castle? Dear boy, I won't be able to answer your question, we don't know her, and we've never seen her, the only ones who interact with her are Griselda and one of the maids, we, ordinary servants, can't even step on the corridor of the 3rd floor, most likely that's why we're not so busy with work, even if it's strange, the castle is huge, and you can count the workers on the fingers of one hand. There were rumors that she was some kind of daughter of influential magnates, and someone that he was expelled from some foreign country, I don't know, it's all guesswork. Although listen, maybe Carrie saw the mistress, she's her new maid now, you can ask her. In a moment, there was a loud crack in the kitchen. Carrie, wait, you took the knife wrong, calm her down, what is she doing? Damn, she even broke the board. I didn't want anything like that, I just wanted to chop the onion very quickly so that the hostess would start breakfast sooner. Carrie, you're very strong, wow. Someone's shadow flashed behind the door, someone was spying on things in the kitchen. And this stranger was clearly worried about the fact that the pharmacist in the castle was from the north. The kitchen was full of work, birds were singing outside the window and the sun was shining in a clear sky. Carrie, why are you loafing around here? Have you nothing to do? Then listen, we dried the washed blankets for the hostess, could you take them to her and make the bed? Carrie began to drag them to the 3rd floor. Hey, wait, the end of the blanket fell to the floor, pick it up. They're as good as new. So, Carrie, let's check what else you are capable of. I want to ask you to warm up the water, for this you need a fire. After this request, the entire furnace was clogged, smoke curled in knots on top of the stream. Is this a fire? What's going on? Griselda entered the room with a splash, on which there was a ridiculous embroidery. As it turned out, Carrie also ruined the cloak. Chapter 6. Carrie, do you realize that the mistress's maid should not behave like this? Your behavior is not an example to follow. Yes, that's right, let's do this, a suggestion, we'll do our work here, and you wait outside, then we'll call you, be kind, don't touch anything here at all. Carrie was put out the door, she examined the extremities, and in the window she saw Urko. He was writing a letter at that time. Dear Lindemans, I am endlessly ashamed that I could not explain to you my abrupt and sudden departure. My help was suddenly needed by the lady from the castle. You understand I could not refuse. How are you? How are you feeling? I hope you are doing well, but don't worry about me, I'm fine. Urko was distracted by the silence, the realization that there are really very few workers here. That's almost the end of my week in the castle. A huge territory, silence, the dimensions of the castle, an unknown disease that I have not met before, and the mistress of this castle, which even the workers do not know. and have never personally seen. If I have a couple of thoughts, one person also lives alone, and does not show up to human eyes. But according to legends, the goddess the sun is not born and does not die, does not get sick and cannot die from that. It turns out she is not the mistress of this castle. It turns out they are just a noble family, and most likely they were, as the workers said, in exile from the country. So they hide their identity and do not show themselves to people's eyes. That's it, I'm stopping these guesses. I won't find out exactly who they are, and I won't try. All I'm sure of is that they are sick, and I have to cure them. They are my patients. And I'm a doctor. As a fact, I have to justify the words of Sister Griselda, and not let her down, and in general, how the Linderman family who saved me will react to my mistake. No, I definitely should not let them down, so we need to forget about these stupid investigations. I have to do something useful. Carrie was spying on Urko in the library. He clearly felt this look on himself, felt discomfort and tension. Oh, Carrie, it's you. Maybe you're interested in my class. Go take a closer look. You're just like a cat. I didn't even hear your presence. Urko thought to himself that Carrie looked more like a lioness than a cat. So, I want to. What are you doing here? A carriage has just arrived, brought medicines. I check them for marriage and sort them out. Each medicinal herb has different storage conditions. You need to be more careful about this. And you, Carrie, have already completed all today's work? You know Urko, no, they all sent me to rest, and do not interfere with them. I do not understand. What am I doing wrong? They were interrupted by Griselda. Hey, pharmacist, come here, we need to talk. She handed him a heavy bag of gold coins. Here is your salary. I have fulfilled my promise. Thank you for the work. And why is there a lot? Did I help her? Yes, Urko, I helped. The hostess has become much better. And this is your merit. You deserve it, naturally. I give them to you with the expectation that you will continue to work here, and will not let us down. We need you. Urko ran out of the castle and hurried somewhere. Carrie rushed after him. Hey, where are you so funny? Wait. The carriage has not left the city yet. I can catch up with it. I need to give a letter and some money to one family. I want to help them. What kind of family? The Lindemann family. I worked for them and lived with them before I moved here. I am very grateful to them. They saved me. Carrie still didn't understand why he was giving them this money. Urko managed to leave the carriage, gave the money, and was happy. They promised to deliver the money to him safely. Can you imagine? We were almost late. Yes, but I'm happy that everything is fine. I'm so tired. I haven't run such distances for a very long time. So, this has been sorted out. What will we do now? I hope I'm not distracting you. I need to finish my work. I need to pick up all the herbs and medicines. But to be honest, I would really like to explore the lake. There are lakes on the corner. They say it's very beautiful there, behind the castle, and walk through the woods, explore the territory. What? The lake is behind the castle? No, Urko, this is a bad idea. It's not worth it. Their gaze fell on the guards and the boy at the castle gate. Or from here in a good way. I beg you, sir, I beg you to look through it with one eye. Let me in. I won't do anything wrong. Get lost, I say. Chapter 7. Urko and Carrie came closer. Excuse me, sir, what are you doing here? Oh, don't worry about it. The boy says some nonsense, probably wants to steal. What? I'm not saying any nonsense, and I don't want to steal anything. I've lost Fina here. What kind of Finn? Fina, this is my horse. My grandmother gave it to me for my birthday. I live in a village near the castle. When I was riding Fina, we came across a snake. This snake scared my horse very much, and it ran away somewhere here, towards the castle, so I came to look for it. But it's Mr. Guardian who doesn't want to let me into your forest. Is it really that difficult? Oh, well, really, Mr. Guardian, do you feel sorry for the territory for the child, because he came on business and not out of boredom? The entrance to this forest, the territory of the castle and the surrounding districts are prohibited for unfamiliar eyes. Entry is prohibited. Let's agree. I'll go with him and take him under my responsibility. Yes, Uncle Guardian, I beg you, I just want to find Fina. Fina is like one of the family members to me. I love her very much. I repeat once again, strangers and outsiders cannot enter in any way. Entry is possible only with the permission of Miss Griselda, the rest of the offenders of our territory. And believe me, she will not mind punishing someone who broke into our lands. Boy, what's your name? My name is Maxim. So, Maxim, I see and feel that you are incredibly upset and offended. But let's agree, maybe you will come home, and I just had plans to go for a walk in this forest. I will definitely look for Finn, and when I find him, I will take care of him and bring him to your house in safe and sound." Maxim agreed, and went home in tears. "Carrie, I suggest you go back first, and I'll go for a walk in the woods right now, it's important." "No, you want to find his horse. I'm just wondering what kind of plants there are on this side of the forest. Suddenly there are a lot of medicinal herbs." "Well then, Urko, I'll go with you, I'm also very interested." "Carrie, you shouldn't bother so much, maybe you can stay in the castle, I don't insist." "Well, that's it, I decided, so I'll go, I'm not doing anything there anyway, and I'm not doing anything." They went into the forest, and a silhouette appeared on the balcony, watching them, not for the first time. There was an indescribable beauty in the forest. The sun made its way through the leaves in trickles to the ground. "There doesn't seem to be a trace of a horse here, I don't know what to think." "I agree, but I think we can handle it, the horses are all huge, she won't hide from us anywhere. And you didn't happen to talk about some herbs that you really like here?" "Interested? But I did not go for the sake of herbs and horses. I want to know this, why did you send money to that family? You earned it with your own work, and they are rightfully yours. Do they not need you at all?" "What are you talking about, Carrie? Of course not, I'm not so rich to throw money on the right and on the left, haha." "And why did you do it then? I don't understand." "Well, this story is hard for me. A lot of years have passed since my family died, and the war ended relatively recently. And so when I decided to leave my native northern region, because there was nothing holding me there anymore, I was looking for a use everywhere. I wandered around the world, sometimes it helped to patients and people in need of help. Sometimes I sold my medicines and goods that I hiccuped through forests and mountains. I was poor and starved. In one of these villages, some gentleman accused me of stealing. Only because of my ancestral affiliation to the north, I was pathetic, and the situation is cruel. And the only one who stood up for me was this Lindemann family. I am grateful to them for the rest of my life. After this situation they called me to work, to their capital. This is the family that fed and watered me. When everyone pointed a finger and turned away, they took care of me, gave me a house, you know? Or maybe they just asked you for this money?" "What? No, I don't need that much money right now, everything is there, I have nothing to spend it on, and I gave it to them as a token of gratitude to support the stall." Carrie started thinking about it, and still couldn't catch the logic in his actions. He gave the money he earned to other people, is now looking for the horse of the boy Maxim, whom he saw for the first time in his life. What kind of antics, is he stupid or just naive? "Carrie, what can you tell me about yourself?" "Well, what can I tell you? You ask so much about me, but I don't know anything about you at all. You're obviously not from the north, but you don't really look like a local. Did you and your family come from another country?" "What? Carrie didn't know what to answer, so she attracted attention with drops of blood on the ground, which she accidentally saw. "Urko, is that a droshky made of blood?" Chapter 8. Carrie and Urko climbed into the bushes, following the bloody tracks. "Carrie, this is Fina, thank God that he didn't go so far from the castle. But what's wrong with him? Why is he covered in blood?" "I believe that when he was running, the snakes were scared. He didn't follow the road, jumped off the cliff. I hope he's alive." "How does he feel? Is he breathing?" "The condition is critical." "Urko, what are we going to do?" "What are you talking about, Carrie? I mean, why would a boy from the village need a horse whose legs are broken? I think we need to get rid of him." In Urko's head flashed the face full of tears of the boy Maxim. He resolutely grabbed the knife. "Carrie, could you help me? I need an apron from your suit for this." "Why do you need my apron? I'm a doctor, I know what to do. Will we give him first aid?" "In order to help him, I will put a splint on his leg, then we will take him to the castle, and there I will continue treatment, then he will be able to live. I think there is absolutely no point in this, he will not survive a fall from such a mountain anyway and will die. You treat animals at least once in your life. Don't you think it would be much more humane to put him to sleep? He is suffering so much." "No, I don't think so," Maxim said. This horse, Fina, this is his family, he loves her. So, don't you think that the reason for killing this horse will lie in mercy for her and the boy? I think that mercy will be shown to the boy if I do everything possible to keep this horse alive and take her to him." Carrie looked into the horse's eyes, they were watering, and it brought back memories of the past, scary and frightening. People were lying in blood, like this horse now, but there were a lot of people there, and therefore a lot of blood. A person asked for help, begged, Flash. She came back to reality, and decided to end it right now. Stop, Urko, this is so stupid, I'll deal with it myself now. She grabbed a knife, swung and almost drove it into the horse, but Urko stopped her in time and blocked Finn with his body. Do you hear me? Help me cure her, don't kill her, but let her live, even if you think that he will eventually die and we will not cope. Let's do it for Maxim's sake. Let him look into our eyes for the last time, please, Carrie. She peacefully agreed, and began to put a tire on the horse together with Urko. This is the most useful thing we could help her with. Look, the stick is in her belly. I think she's stuck not too deep. I suggest we pull her out now. I have a request to you. When I pull out the stick, you will need to stop the blood right away, okay? So, 1, 2, 3, pull. We did it, I told you. Now we need reinforcements from the castle. The horse began to flounder, which caused Urko to fall directly into the water from the riverbank. Urko! Oh no!